Oh, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. We are here talking professional wrestling with you. And we are here, of course, on your radio. We are here on your podcasting device, be it iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you get your podcasts. And, of course, also on the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel right now. If you're not already doing so, you can watch the show, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. More info for that on our website at ringsidereport.net. Of course, the whole Ringside Report network available when you subscribe. You got Ringside Report, the MMA show. You've got Wrestling Uncensored. You've got movie reviews from Johnny North. You've got Dave and Johnny Live. You've got all sorts of pro wrestling talk. We had a live UFC watch-along for the UFC 240 pay-per-view last Saturday that you can watch on the YouTube channel. There's always activity going on at youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Now, that said, we got to do a programming note, Johnny North. We are going on a bit of a vacation. I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks, headed to Nova Scotia to rest, relax, recharge, have a bit of a vacation, little time off. So we'll be off for a couple of weeks and then returning on the week of the 18th of August. So that week, just a couple of weeks off, just 2 weeks off of Wrestling Uncensored and everything else. But then we'll be back and, no more vacations because we take vacations very rarely, right? Like, when is the last time Wrestling Uncensored was off for any amount of time?
It's been at least 2 years, I think.
At least 2 years. I think it's been 3. So we don't take Christmas off. We don't take any kind of holidays off. But once in a while in the summertime, I like to take some time off. A little vacation, right?
Well, it's the time to do it, right?
Everybody needs a vacation. It is the time to do it. Unfortunately, this means that we won't be able to do a live SummerSlam post-show. So we will be missing the SummerSlam post-show festivities. But don't worry, we'll be back for Hell in a Cell. We'll be back before that for All Out. The next AEW show will be live right afterwards, doing a post-show on the YouTube channel. So the action will resume in just a couple of weeks. Just a little break for me, because I do a lot of shows, Johnny North, right? There's a lot on the Ringside Report network. There's What's Fandom in Japan. There's Ringside Report. There's Wrestling Uncensored. There's a lot. So when I go away, things kind of slow down.
Well, when you come back, the G1 will be over as well. So
yeah, so we'll have some stuff in New Japan to recap with Green Phantom.
You have a lot of work when you get back, actually. It just piles on, actually, afterwards.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'm a wrestling fan, too, so I love watching wrestling. So I'll be excited to get back into it. And I'll be checking in while I'm gone. And who knows, if you stay tuned to ringsidereport.net, I may drop a surprise podcast while I'm gone. It might happen. Just know that while I'm off on vacation in Nova Scotia, I'm bringing some portable podcast equipment with me. So it's possible that I do some sort of mini SummerSlam show recap.
I think people got to harass you as much as possible now for that.
Yeah, you're going to have to harass me for that one to get me to do that extra work on vacation. But you can harass me on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA, on Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Follow Johnny North at North Genesis, and follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. So, because we will not be here next week to do the full SummerSlam preview, this week on the show, we will be previewing WWE Summerslam taking place in Toronto, and that has been a theme of the show, right? They're talking a lot about how this show is in Toronto, it's in Canada. That's a theme in the Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon match. It's a theme in the Becky Lynch, Natalya, Neidhart match. And I feel like other people were talking about Canada as well. But, Trish Stratus. There you go.
That's huge.
Trish Stratus just announced this week she'll be taking on Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam. And, of course, Trish from Toronto. So that is a pretty big deal as far as Canada. And this pay-per-view really centered around Canada in a way, right? It's a lot of kind of us versus them, Canadians versus other people from other places. I saw Becky Lynch post a picture on her Twitter account where she has a Canadian flag with a shamrock instead of the maple leaf, saying she's going to come and take over Canada. And, you know, as a Canadian, I don't know how to feel about that. I like Becky Lynch, but at the same time, don't mess with the maple leaf.
I think maybe she realizes she's wrestling a Canadian, so she's probably going to get booed, so she might as well just take advantage of it and go all the way with it.
I think Becky's going to be the heel in this match. The way this one is stacking up, it feels like Natty's going to get a lot of the patriotic pro-Canada support, and Becky might be booed out of the building.
Well, Becky attacked Natty before Raw even started, right? When they were training before Raw.
Yeah.
She blindsided her, attacked her.
She also attacked Finlay.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, I don't understand that, but I guess it was just to make her, cool.
I think it made sense because Finlay was teaching Natty a counter out of the disarmor.
Okay.
Right? Like, Natty, it was an Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross Moment of Bliss segment where Alexa showed this footage of Natty training with Finlay before the show, and then Becky Lynch shows up and she attacks Finlay, kicks him in the groin, and then attacks Natty and puts the disarmor on her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, Finlay was showing Natty how to roll out into a pinfall out of the disarmor. So you could see why Becky might be mad that Finlay was teaching Natty how to counter out of her finisher. I got that.
Still blindsided her, though.
Yeah, for sure. She just attacked Natty out of nowhere. So maybe she's being the heel a little bit. Maybe she's turning heel.
But she wrestled Alexa Bliss, and she wrestled actually twice, if not mistaken. She wrestled Bliss, and then she wrestled Nikki Cross, so it didn't really make it seem like she was the villain. I just think in Toronto she will be.
Are Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross still heels?
I think so. I feel that they are. The promo was kind of weird, right? Because they kind of dissed Dolph Ziggler for what he did to Shawn Michaels, saying he's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird, but Alexa faked an injury, clearly.
Yes.
So clearly she's...
That was a heelish move,
Yeah.
but it's kind of in between with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, it's weird because Nikki Cross is still somewhat of a face, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. All these weird characters.
So I'm not really sure what to make of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross right now. But Becky Lynch did have that match with Alexa, which was just ended because Alexa injured her ankle, but she didn't really. And then Becky had a match with Nikki Cross, and she hit her with a move that they called the manhandle slam. Looked a little bit like a rock bottom type move, but she hooked the leg as well. Was that new?
I feel like she may have hit it once before. I've heard it being called before, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's done it.
But then Alexa, faking the injury, attacked Becky Lynch after the match. And then Natty showed up, and it looked like she was going to help Becky because Alexa and Nikki bailed. But then Natty put Becky in the sharpshooter.
Oh, I thought Becky... I'm pretty sure Natty was going to attack Becky right away. She deserved that for what happened earlier.
Natty says she wants a submission match, but she doesn't think that Becky will accept, so she's not going to challenge her to such a match. Will we get a submission match?
More than likely. I mean, why bring it up?
It seems like we will, right?
Yeah.
Sharpshooter versus disarmor?
Makes sense. And it's in Canada, so usually submission matches, it's kind of quiet, the crowd, because no one really reacts for submissions that much. But because it's Canada, I think they would.
Would they make Natty tap out in Canada?
I'd be worried for a lot of Canadians, because you always worry about the Survivor Series screw job, right? They always like to bring that back up anytime they're in Canada.
It feels like if anybody's going to take that, it's going to be Kevin Owens, though, going up against the McMahon, right?
100%. I feel like that's definitely going to happen.
Right. But as far as Natty and Becky, who do you see coming out here? Who do you see coming out the Raw Women's Champion? You think it's going to be a submission match? Do we see Becky beating Natty with the disarmor? Just, because, hey, it's Becky Lynch. You might not like it in Canada. The Canadian fans might not like it. But it's Becky Lynch. She's the man. What are you going to do?
It's pretty much exactly what's going to happen, right? Yeah. Becky's just going to win. It's nice they gave Natty a push for this and made it seem like she could actually beat Becky, but it's not going to happen.
And they've done a really good job, I think, in getting Natty cheered. I think Natty's going to get a lot of love from the crowd because of this pro-Canadian angle that she's doing and all this stuff that Becky's talking about Natty. Becky did a tremendous promo on her Instagram or Twitter, I think it was, and I retweeted the thing at Dave Simon MMA. You can go check it out because it was a tremendous promo in 90 seconds. She built the match beautifully. Becky's doing a really good job in making this a match with a lot of heat, and it's an anticipated match for SummerSlam, and I think the crowd's going to be into it. And I remember the last time I saw Natty live in front of a Canadian audience, she didn't get a lot of love. And it makes you wonder, like, have people forgotten that she's Canadian? Have people forgotten who she is, that she's part of the Hart family? And we are reminding people in this storyline of exactly who Natty Neidhart really is. And I think that's good, and it's going to get her a lot of support going into the match, and it makes it important. And Natty, great performer, she deserves this. Natty's a great wrestler. Everybody knows that.
Right, but I don't know if she was credible for a lot of years, and that was the problem, where it's just like she felt like she lost almost every match, or you wouldn't believe that she could actually win a match.
Once in a while, she has a run, though. Didn't she have a title run not long ago?
When she turned heel, when she actually turned on Becky, remember? On SmackDown?
Right.
They did give her a bit of a run. That was nice. But again, it was just to put over somebody else, which I believe was Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course.
So, you just realize that in the end, that's the main purpose of Natty is just to put over the new generation. But it's nice that she's lasted so long and she still gets moments like this.
Yeah, Natty had an 86-day run as the SmackDown Women's Champion last year.
It's okay.
It was ended by Charlotte Flair.
It's not great, actually. That's actually worse than Bayley's. And Bayley hasn't even done much as SmackDown Women's Champion.
No. But Bayley has had a decent run. She hasn't done much. She feuded with Alexa Bliss, and that's pretty much it, right, so far?
For 2 pay-per-views, yeah.
I like the stuff she's doing with Ember Moon.
It's not even more close to as compelling as Becky and Natty, though.
No, but it's still interesting. Like, I think the Becky and Natty program is more compelling right now. But I'm still interested in what Ember and Bayley are doing, and I like that they've built some animosity between these two babyfaces, yet kept them babyfaces. They've done a good job in doing that. I thought the little spot last week was good, and the little spot this week on SmackDown was good. Last week you had Ember Moon. She was in a match with, Charlotte?
I believe so,
and
yes.
She beat Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
And then Bayley was there ringside, and Ember wound up hitting Bayley with her Eclipse finisher. And then Bayley and Ember teamed up against Alexa and Nikki, and they lost. Clean, by the way. Alexa just hit Twisted Bliss on Ember Moon for the win. And then Bayley went in the ring and hit her Bayley to belly on Ember Moon, and she was saying, like, look, you did it to me last week. This is just a little bit of payback. Got to do what I got to do. We got a pay-per-view match. I like it. It's friendly, but it's still kind of not friendly.
Yeah.
It's good. I like this little bit of edge that they're giving to Bayley and to Ember. I think it's fantastic.
Well, if history has shown us anything, Bayley is not very loved in Canada, so I imagine she might get booed in Toronto, heavily, because she was heavily booed when she was in Montreal, twice.
That's true. But, I don't know. I think that was maybe a fluke. I think Bayley's going to get some love.
If she's getting Ember Moon, the way it's going right now, and they keep playing stuff like that where Bayley's helping somebody up and then, bam, gives somebody a move, that's not a lot of love on that one.
Well, what do you think's going to happen then?
I think Bayley's going to win, but I think she's going to get booed out of the building.
So you think Bayley retains and you think Becky retains?
Yeah.
The women's championships aren't going anywhere. Will the women's tag team titles be on the line? Still missing in action, the Iconics and the Kabuki Warriors. The Iconics decided to get counted out in the tag team title match. That was like a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. Haven't seen them since.
Well, it hasn't been worked out yet, but I think it's going to be a three-way tag at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be the Iconics, Kabuki Warriors, and Sonya and Mandy. I think that's how it's going to play out.
Okay.
And I think the Kabuki Warriors finally will win. Probably won't pin the Iconics, but whatever. They'll win the tag team titles, I think, at SummerSlam.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's possible that they do that. This is our early SummerSlam preview because I'm going on vacation, but they only have 1 week of TV to do this, so we'll see.
Yeah, but you have Raw and SmackDown now because of the wildcard rule, so you could pull it off. You could definitely do it.
A lot of changes could be happening to this card, a lot of wild stuff. I want to get to some of that wild stuff. How about Goldberg? Can we talk about Goldberg for a minute?
Of course. Let's do it, yeah.
Is Goldberg going to wrestle Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam? Because that is the rumor. And if that's happening, again, they have a week of TV to set that up. So right now the match is Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for SummerSlam. However, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer is reporting this week that the match will not be Ziggler versus Miz.
Right.
That Ziggler will be wrestling someone else. And you think, oh, well, maybe it'll be Shawn Michaels because Ziggler super kicked Shawn Michaels last week on SmackDown, right? But Dave Meltzer is saying it will also not be Shawn Michaels. So there is a report out there that it will not be Shawn Michaels or Miz as Dolph Ziggler's opponent. Last week, Dolph Ziggler in a promo made a crack about Goldberg being a terrible wrestler. And he did it again this week on SmackDown.
Right.
In a promo, he talked about, Shawn Michaels didn't deserve to be in a ring. He doesn't belong there. Speaking of not belonging in a ring, did you see Goldberg's last match? Like, he just threw it out there. Didn't really make sense.
Right.
Goldberg's not around, but 2 weeks in a row in promos, Dolph Ziggler is taking shots at Goldberg, which makes you wonder. And apparently Goldberg tweeted out earlier this month something about how what he wants to do the most is erase the memory of his last match because it was so embarrassing, and he wants to come back and redeem himself, Of
course, he should feel that way.
And if you're going to redeem yourself, Dolph Ziggler would be the perfect guy to do it with because he's a good hand in the ring, right? He's a talented wrestler. He can fly around for Goldberg. If they want to do 5 to 10 minutes, Dolph Ziggler is one of the guys that you might want to do it with, right? He could carry Goldberg. He's not The Undertaker. He's not past his prime. He's very much in his prime still. And I think that he could have a decent match with Goldberg. Now, whether or not it would be a total squash, that'd be up to Goldberg. But I would hope it wouldn't be. If he really wants to redeem himself, beating Dolph Ziggler in 2 minutes isn't going to cut it. You want to redeem yourself, show that you can work 8 minutes with Dolph Ziggler and then beat him,
Well, that's a tough spot you put yourself in then, because Goldberg in long matches usually not the best, but Goldberg in short matches is fantastic. So I understand you want more than just a spear and jackhammer, sure, but I think anything more than 4 to 5 minutes, and you might be pushing it, actually.
His match with Lesnar at Mania was a little bit longer than average, and it was pretty good, from what I remember.
They built towards that, though, and that took months of build, and I think they probably worked over things, too.
This will have very little build. Like I said, they've got a week to put this together, if indeed it is being put together.
Right. I feel it's just better to keep it short and sweet, which should have been the Undertaker match as well. And I think maybe they'll learn from their mistakes and just keep it as a squash. I think that's the best way to do this.
I think the best way to do it would be for Goldberg to come in, wrestle about 5 minutes, and lose to Dolph Ziggler.
That won't happen.
I know it won't happen, but hey, how about putting over the guys that actually work there?
Well, Goldberg might come back and wrestle Saudi Arabia again. I can see that.
Okay. Yeah. Actually work there, like Dolph Ziggler.
I can see a rematch in Saudi Arabia. Why not? They're going back in November. Can't wait.
Okay, Big Johnny. Do you think this match will happen?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to happen.
Really?
Of course, yeah.
I'm skeptical.
He's mentioned it all the time. Why is he mentioning it? It makes a lot of sense. I never really wanted to see him and The Miz ever again, so I'm glad that's probably not going to happen. I really want this match to happen. Short and sweet. It'll make the 7 hours a bit easier to watch.
And if it does happen, we both expect Goldberg to win.
Of course.
What if Ziggler and Miz happens? We expect to take a bathroom break. Like, snack break.
I'll be disappointed. Very disappointed.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. How about Alan Jones, the United States champion from OC, defending against Ricochet. Ricochet winning a pretty good match this week. That was on Monday Night Raw. It was a gauntlet that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Well, it had great wrestlers in it, so yeah.
Great wrestlers. Rey Mysterio beating Cesaro, the opener in the gauntlet. Fantastic. That was probably the best match of all of them, right?
Andrade stuff was good, too.
Andrade and Rey was good, too. But we've seen it before. I can't remember seeing Rey and Cesaro in a one-on-one match. Not recently, anyways.
Yeah, not recently, but I think once before, yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty awesome. So Rey beats Cesaro after a 619 and a splash. Then Sami Zayn shows up. And again, we get cheated out of the Sami Zayn-Rey Mysterio match. Last week, we were supposed to have it, but like a cavalcade of legends showed up for no apparent reason. And this week, we're supposed to have it. But, Rey just kind of distracts Sami and goes for a roll-up, botches the first roll-up.
Yep.
And then Sami kind of steps into it, and Rey rolls him up again and pins him. Not a match, just a roll-up.
I think it's the way to save the match because you definitely want to see that, right? So one day they could do it, and it's kind of like the first ever in a sense.
Is it ever going to happen, though? It's not the first ever. It'll be like the third or fourth ever because they never really give it to us. They give you Andrade and Rey, which was fantastic. Those two work very, very well together. Andrade beats Rey via pinfall after his DDT. So Andrade eliminates Rey from the gauntlet. Rey went very far, did very well for himself, right? Got 2 wins. And then it was Ricochet versus Andrade, which was a fantastic match as well.
Yep.
And Ricochet beats Andrade, hits the 630 splash to win the gauntlet and become the number 1 contender for the U.S. title. So again, we get AJ Styles versus Ricochet. It'll be like the 4th or 5th match between these two. They've all been very good.
Yep.
But I would have preferred Rey Mysterio at this point. Like, I get it. We have a Ricochet AJ Styles feud, and it was on the last pay-per-view, and maybe it's not over with for one reason or another. But isn't it over with? Did AJ Styles cheat to win last time?
Not really, but
He's beat him twice.
right.
They've wrestled, 3 times? And AJ's won twice. So why do they have to wrestle again?
Actually, to be fair, the club were around ringside. I feel there was a bit of distraction at the end. It did kind of cost them, so.
A little bit, but not interference, you know?
No, but it was a good distraction, though.
Okay. So we get Ricochet and AJ Styles at SummerSlam. It's a good match, but I'm not hyped for it because we've seen it so much recently. It was on the last pay-per-view. Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles at SummerSlam, on a big stage. That would have been more interesting.
Well, I think Rey's probably going to wrestle Andrade because you saw what happened with Rey. He got the mask ripped off. So I think they're going to make this personal now, and I think they're finally going to have a pay-per-view match because they've been feuding for a while, but they never had that match on pay-per-view. I feel now is the time.
But again, it's like a rehash. Like we've seen it before.
Yeah, but never a resolution to it.
Okay.
They kept feuding, but no payoff.
Okay. So if we do see a resolution to it, who wins? Andrade?
Yeah, I think so.
And how about AJ Styles and Ricochet? AJ?
I like AJ in it, yeah.
His guys just won the Raw Tag Team titles. That was a very good match as well. The Revival, the Usos, and the Good Brothers for the Raw Tag Team titles, I thought was fantastic.
I was very surprised, actually, because they've pretty much lost all their matches leading up to this, the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
And then suddenly banned their tag team champions again. It kind of goes to show you that wins and losses don't really matter. You can just be champions the next night. So,
well, it shows me that they're pushing this new group of AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson, the reformation of the Bullet Club guys are calling themselves the OC. I don't think, the original club, I guess they're called.
Right.
I don't think that's very good. I think if they're going to call them the OC, they should drop the because it the OC, people think about the, Orange County or that TV show on Fox in the early 2000s or whatever, It's not cool, The OC is not a cool name for a team.
The T-shirt's cool.
The T-shirt's cool, but it says the OC on it, so it's lame, But if it just said OC, you know what OC stands for when people generally say OC?
I think Orange County again, no? But...
No. Organized crime.
I don't know if you want that, actually.
Bullet Club. They've kind of got that mafia-type style already, And I don't know about you, but the gangsters I see look a lot like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Not AJ Styles somewhat.
Not AJ, but, sometimes AJ Styles. But, doesn't Luke Gallows look like a gangster to you? Come on. Look at that guy.
Okay, that's fair. But I
right?
thought AJ was like Daniel Bryan this week.
I think OC is a better way to put them. I would drop the and just go with OC. I was watching Sopranos, and I saw Christopher Moltisanti. You know what I'm talking about?
I forget.
He was looking in a newspaper, and he wanted to be mentioned as a member of, like, the crime family, right? He wanted his name in the paper because he wanted to be known, right?
All right.
And somebody's like, and his name wasn't in the paper, and he was complaining about it. And he's like, and the other guy's like, why? You're not really connected. You're not a made guy. And he's like, I'm OC. And I was like, I'm OC. Christopher wants to be OC. He doesn't want to be the OC. He wants to be OC. And it sounded cool. And I was like, yeah, that's what Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles should be called. OC, not the OC. You're welcome, Paul Heyman. That's a gift to the WWE.
Problem is they've trademarked now the OC and everything.
Change it. Drop it. How hard can that
be? They made merch and everything, so...
Well, it's weak merch. I'm not buying it.
I don't know. That looks pretty fantastic, actually.
Yeah, you want a The OC shirt?
Actually, a tank. Tanks are great.
Okay. Yeah, you like to show off them guns. So, OC become the new Raw Tag Team Champions in a fantastic triple threat match on Raw. They get the pin on Jey Uso after the Magic Killer. Nothing really seems to happen to the Usos, though. Jimmy Uso got arrested last week for a DUI. They show up on Raw and says, the Usos aren't missing Raw for nothing. And you know what they're talking about.
Of course.
Just flaunting the fact that they're drinking and driving, getting arrested for it, and having no repercussions for it at their job.
To be fair, they didn't win the match. They lost.
Jay lost, not Jimmy.
Okay, sure, fine.
Jay's also had his problems with impairment behind the wheel, though, right? Both of them.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So this has got to stop for the Usos, but apparently, hey, when you're the Usos, you're still all over Raw. It doesn't really matter.
Well, if they do have a match SummerSlam, I think the OC is going to retain the tag team titles.
Okay. Are they going to have a rematch at SummerSlam? A triple threat?
Maybe on the pre-show.
Because the Revival were the champions, were they not?
Right, but there's no automatic rematches anymore.
Okay. I think you do Viking Raiders against the Good Brothers. I don't know if you get that right away for SummerSlam, but to me, that's the match down the road. Viking Raiders, Good Brothers, that's money.
Yeah, down the road, I don't know about right now, because you're trying to rebuild them. You buried them during the Raw reunion in the OC. So I feel like you want to give them a bit of a run. The Viking Raiders, I feel like that's kind of endgame. Maybe.
But do we need to see the Good Brothers wrestle the Usos or the Revival? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't really need it. The Usos would be the logical choice because they're the other babyface tag team and the Good Brothers are heels. So it wouldn't really make sense for them to wrestle the Revival again. But the Revival were the champions. I guess you could do a triple threat again, pre-show, SummerSlam.
Or number one contenders match, Usos Revival, winners face the OC at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Usos would win that, obviously.
I guess. Or you just have a number one contenders match at SummerSlam and have the OC just in AJ's corner to help him beat Ricochet.
That's it. They don't need to have a tag team title match.
It's not necessary for SummerSlam right now. All right, we are previewing SummerSlam. We've got to take a short pause here on the radio side. We're going to get to Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton. And yes, I'm going to compliment Randy Orton for something he did this week, Johnny North. You will be shocked and amazed. And I will also compliment Seth Rollins for being pretty awesome this week. And also, who tried to kill Roman Reigns? We're going to try and do some detective work when we come back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Stay with us. Oh, yeah. Welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. RingsideReport.net. Go there. Check out all the action. You can download all our podcasts there. You can subscribe on the iTunes feed with Apple Podcasts. You can go to Google Play and subscribe there. You can go to the YouTube channel and watch this show at youtube.com/Ringside Report, DOTNET, youtube.com/RingsideReport.net. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and click the bell when you subscribe so you get the alerts every time we're on. More info for the YouTube channel and links to everything on the website at RingsideReport.net. Big Johnny, SummerSlam, coming up next week. We're going to be on vacation, so we're previewing it now.
It's a long card.
It is a big card. There's a lot going on at SummerSlam. A lot went on this past week on Raw, and I want to congratulate Maria for becoming the first ever pregnant champion in the WWE. R-Truth and Carmella had a match against Drake Maverick and Renee Maverick, Drake's wife. Finally wrestling in the WWE. Good for her. Got a contract.
She was a wrestler? Wow.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, obviously she's a wrestler. Just look at her. She looks like a wrestler.
No, but to wrestle in WWE, I didn't know that was the plan.
Whatever. Why not?
Yeah.
So Truth pins Drake Maverick to retain the title, and this was billed as a mosh pit mixed tag match. Basically, the job mob, all the people that run after R-Truth, were surrounding the ring.
Right.
So as soon as the match ended, everybody jumps in and they pile on top of R-Truth. And the ref counts to 3, and then Mike Kanellis crawls out of the pile, and he's the champion. He goes backstage. His wife, Maria, orders him to lie down so that she may put her foot on him and pin him to become the new 24/7 champion. And he does it, and she becomes the new 24/7 champion and proceeds to taunt the entire locker room like Titus O'Neil, saying, "What are you going to do, Titus? You want this 24/7 title? You going to try and attack a pregnant lady? I don't think so." So now she's just walking around, and no one's going after her because she's pregnant, and no one wants to attack a pregnant lady, thankfully, in 2019 in WWE. I know in 1998 in WWE, there were probably some unsavory characters that would have had no problems attacking Maria. Dudley Boys, I'm looking at you. But in 2019, everybody's a gentleman, and everybody's behaving themselves, and nobody is taking the 24/7 title off of Maria. How long will this last? Until she gives birth? Who knows? Who knows how this will all wrap up? But I thought it was an interesting twist in the 24/7 title tale. It kind of ended the R-Truth Drake Maverick thing. They had a tag team match. The wife was there. Everybody was there. Truth won. It was over. And then Mike Kanellis winds up champion, gets it to Maria, and now Maria's a pregnant champion. Truth isn't just going to get the title back now. Drake Maverick isn't just going to get the title back now. It's about Maria. Things are different. I don't know what they're going to do, but I like that they have managed to advance the story of the 24/7 title. It did feel like progression, an end and a new beginning in relatively the same segment, and that's not something the WWE has done well very often. So I'm going to applaud them for that. I thought it was solid work of storyline progression.
Well, I feel in the end they're just going to strip her of the title, saying that she's unfit to defend the championship, so she's not going to be champion.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's going to probably lead to a big brawl kind of match at SummerSlam. Like whoever leaves the brawl is the champion kind of thing. I could see that go down.
Why not a battle royal?
Well, it's pretty much the same thing, but instead of a battle royal, just make it like some sort of brawl, and whoever escapes from that. Something like what WCW did when they were like in this like like garage kind of parking lot brawl thing, and Finlay left it, and he won the championship.
Give me a 50-man ladder match.
Don't do that. Don't do that at all. That sounds bad.
Give me a 30-man. Give me a 20-man ladder match. Give me something crazy that I've never seen before for the 24/7 title. Give me something nuts. Like, give me all the guys in the job mob. No Way Jose gets to be in a ladder match. Like, when are any of these guys ever going to get to be in a ladder match in the WWE? Let them go, let them shine, and let some of these people distinguish themselves from the pack. You know? You're in a ladder match, all of a sudden you fall off a ladder, you're doing something crazy, people take notice of you, and you're not part of the job mob anymore chasing our truth. All of a sudden, you're a star that people want to see. Give me a 20-man ladder match to crown a new 24/7 champion on the pre-show of SummerSlam. Or on Raw next week. You know, on the Raw after SummerSlam in Toronto. You got to do something. Crowd's going to be dead after SummerSlam. You got to give them something to get excited about. 20-man ladder match. Never done before. Robert Roode is in it. No Way Jose is in it. R-Truth, Drake Maverick. You know, Mike Kanellis. Cedric Alexander if you want. You know, everybody. Titus.
But they keep, like, the hardcore element basically away from this. I mean, sometimes they pull it out, but it's very rare that they do that. And I feel that maybe you'll get the stipulations, but they don't use a lot of hardcore elements.
Okay. Change it up. Like, just because they've been doing it a certain way doesn't mean they can't change it and then go back, you know? Like,
right.
Mix things up. Make it interesting. It's pro wrestling. You literally make it up and can do whatever you want whenever you want. That's how wrestling is. It's fun because of that, you know? One of the great things about wrestling is you don't really have to follow any kind of rules. You can do whatever you want, make it up on the fly, and, hey, it's a more interesting product that way. Entertain.
Well, I just think in terms of entertainment, a 30-man like ladder match is going to get too messy. There's a good chance of high injuries in that match. I don't think you want to go down that route, actually. And this, they keep it more like comical, this championship, I find.
Yeah, it's a total joke title.
So I don't think they want to risk injury on something that's a joke.
Did you not see the beginning of Raw where they did that whole voiceover thing talking about the WWE Championship, so prestigious, until the 24/7 title came in, and then like the wacky music, and they're like, oh, what a stupid title this is.
Right.
They're just demeaning their own product. It doesn't make any sense to do that. But hey, it's the comedy title. It's really what it is. Give it back to Santino. Get Santino with that belt.
Well, maybe Santino will win it at SummerSlam. It is going to be in Toronto, so it's a good chance.
Hey, give it to Santino. I'd like to see that. Speaking of Toronto superstars, how about Trish Stratus? One of the greatest wrestlers to ever come out of the Toronto area. Along with Edge, Christian, and Santino. Test, of course. The great Andrew Martin. The late, great Andrew Martin. Trish and Charlotte. It's happening. I thought the promo on Smackdown was very good. I like that Jerry Lawler was there. They were in Memphis, Tennessee, so of course the King had to be there with the King's Court. I like the use of Jerry Lawler. I thought they used him very well.
Well, he's not going to be there at SummerSlam, I don't think. Maybe on the pre-show panel.
But I'm saying using him, having him host a King's Court, and then use him to progress a storyline to be there with Trish and Charlotte while all that's going on and a match is being made for SummerSlam. He wasn't just brought out to wave to the people and walk back to catering or whatever, you know? He was used properly. Unlike the Raw reunion where they misused a lot of guys, you see where less is more sometimes, right?
Of course.
You have fewer people there, you can do more with them. And Jerry Lawler, the King, he was at the Raw reunion, did nothing, really. He was on commentary for one match, but here on SmackDown, had an impact. Was useful. Was meaningful. Gave this storyline more credit. You know, it made it seem bigger because Jerry was there.
Well, this is probably going to be the only part of the storyline because I don't think Trish is going to be there week in, week out now. This is just for this, and that's it.
So Trish was the guest on the King's Court. She says she couldn't be at the Raw reunion. She was on vacation. Jerry's like, a lot of the guys were talking about having one last match, and he's like, would you want to have one last match? And the crowd's like, woo! The crowd knows what's up. The crowd's like, yep, Charlotte, here it comes. We know it's coming. The rumors have been out there. Charlotte Flair shows up. She's like, Trish is a mom and whatever. It's all fine. You keep talking about that. She's like, I want to challenge you to a match at SummerSlam, but I know that you probably think you can't hang with the Queen. And if you don't want to have this match, you can get out of my ring and go back to changing diapers. And then Trish says she respects Charlotte, but she's just being a B word. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to lower myself, all right?
It's good.
And Trish says there would be no trail for Charlotte to blaze without her and Lita and Jacqueline and Ivory and Beth Phoenix and people like them paving the way for Charlotte Flair. And Trish says to be the woman, you got to beat the woman. And Trish says, that's her, kind of taking the Flair phrase. And Trish accepts the match for SummerSlam. I thought it was a powerful promo from Charlotte and Trish. It got me hyped for the match. And just looking at them in the ring, it felt like an iconic wrestling moment. It felt like Rock and Hogan. It felt like Cena and Rock. It felt like, whoa, this is the Queen Charlotte Flair versus Trish Stratus, the greatest ever. And they're going to do battle in SummerSlam in Toronto. Like, this is big. This is a massive match that they just made, and it felt major on SummerSlam. Well done. 5 stars across the board for the build on this match. I loved it.
Well, now I'm concerned when you bring up stuff like that, or iconic matches. One of those iconic matches, Hogan and Rock, that was good. Rock and Cena, not good, both times. So
go back and watch Hogan and Rock without the sound on, Big Johnny.
Okay, well, why would you watch wrestling without the sound? Like, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the match itself wasn't like a...
But the sound is everything.
Okay.
The atmosphere.
Well, the atmosphere would be big for Trish and Charlotte, so it doesn't really matter how the match will play out. I know that's where you're going. You're saying you don't think the match will be that good?
I think it's a 50-50 on this one, it seems. I mean, look at Trish's last match. She had the Evolution pay-per-view with Lita. It was okay at best.
Who'd they wrestle?
I think it was Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
Mickie James is pretty good.
Yeah, but she's not Charlotte. It's different with Charlotte.
But what's different with Charlotte? She's never wrestled Charlotte before. She's wrestled Mickie James. She has chemistry with Mickie James.
A long time ago.
Okay, but there's still something there. It's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
And she hasn't wrestled in so long, and you could just expect right away, boom, that she's going to have a good match with Charlotte.
Yeah.
And let's remember Charlotte versus Lacey Evans. That didn't exactly go well, did it?
No.
Charlotte doesn't always have good matches.
They'll probably have time to practice, though.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be good. I think they'll do well.
I think it'll be all right.
I'm not too worried about the quality of the match. I think Trish and Charlotte both know what this means and how important this match is. I think a lot of people will look at Trish as the greatest ever, but maybe when it's all said and done with Charlotte's career, people will look at her as the greatest ever. Charlotte is a major star for the WWE. As great as Becky Lynch is, and Bayley, and Ember Moon, and all these other great stars that they have, Charlotte is kind of a cut above. And we're seeing that, like Becky and Bayley, they're wrestling their singles matches for their titles, but
Right.
Charlotte gets Trish in Toronto. It's a different thing. Charlotte gets that higher level match against the legend. It's bigger.
In a sense, I mean, if you're not getting a championship match, it's good to get a legend kind of match, especially one that you're probably going to win more than likely.
You think Charlotte wins?
I think there's no doubt almost.
Wow. So what Canadian will win in Canada?
That's weird. Oh, Sami Zayn's wrestling. Oh, he's going to lose, though. Crap.
Yeah, Sami Zayn decided to pick a fight with Alistair Black.
Yeah, that's not going to go in well for him at all.
I am so sick of those Alistair Black Darkness promos. Like, I thought he came out of the dark room. He's back in the dark room?
Because now he needs another fight. Until he has a fight, he goes back in the dark room.
A fight with me. I like that Cesaro makes fun of him. It's terrible. I don't like it. I like Alistair Black in the ring.
Right.
These promos, this gimmick, not so much.
Well, in the end, Sami will have the same kind of thing with Cesaro. I think he'll have a good performance, but he's not going to win.
Sami loses to Rey Mysterio in like 30 seconds. Why do I believe he's going to beat Alistair Black at SummerSlam? They've given me zero reason to believe that Sami Zayn is going to beat this unstoppable force who just mowed through Cesaro in 2 straight matches.
Yeah,
What's the point?
Well, just so Alistair Black's there. I mean, it's great that Sami gets a pay-per-view match, right?
Sami should win.
He should, he won't. You know that, too.
So which Canadian's going to win on this card? Because they're talking a lot about Canada, right? Natalya, she's facing Becky. She'll probably lose. Let's see here. Who else is Canadian? Trish Stratus, she's facing Charlotte. You think Trish is going to lose? I think she'll probably lose to Charlotte, too. And then, of course, our main man, Kevin Owens, taking on Shane McMahon. If Kevin Owens loses, he will quit WWE. So there's that stipulation put on it.
Yeah.
But we mentioned earlier that we think it's possible that this will be the Montreal Screwjob style finish, which they always love doing in Canada, where maybe Kevin Owens, because he's facing Shane McMahon, gets screwed out of the match somehow.
Well, here's what I think Shane's going to do, because he's already played the clip of Kevin saying, I quit. And we've seen in the past where they played clips of people saying, I quit, even though they didn't say I quit.
Yeah, they did it to Mankind back in 99.
I think they might do that to Kevin.
But it's not an I quit match.
Well, if you hear the guy say I quit, it's over, right?
On the loudspeakers, though, that's not going to make sense.
Shane
the
could
referee has to hear it.
Shane could put a microphone to his face and say I quit or something. It could happen.
That's how you think the match will end? That's terrible. I hope they don't do that.
I hope they don't do that either, but I could see it happening, though. I could also see Survivor Series. Shane goes for like a sharpshooter or something.
And somebody just rings the bell?
Well, Shane's like, one of the guys that is in charge.
So we think Shane McMahon will cheat to win. He will game the system to beat Kevin Owens.
Well, he shouldn't. I mean, Kevin should win this match, right?
I think Kevin will win this match. I think he's going to be the lone Canadian that wins. I think people expect him to do a screw job finish, but it's really unnecessary. I think Kevin Owens wins the match, gets revenge on Shane, moves on, and becomes a top babyface on SmackDown.
Well, I think he's got to beat the screw job. I think Shane has to go for the screw job, but Kevin is able to fight it off.
Maybe, just hit stunners on everybody.
Well, that's not really necessary. Just one stunner, that's all you really need to do.
Kevin Owens beat Drew McIntyre on SmackDown this week.
His big win.
Huge win. That's one of the biggest wins he's had in months. He's been losing a lot. And he just beat Drew McIntyre, who's at a pretty high level in WWE.
High enough, yeah.
Kevin Owens hit him with a stunner on the outside of the ring on the table. Drew stumbles back in the ring, gets hit with a super kick, stunner. Kevin Owens, 1, 2, 3, KO wins. That was surprising.
But needed, because...
Good match, too. I thought the match was very good. The thing that Drew hit him with, what is it, a Celtic cross off the second rope?
Yeah.
Where Owens' head looked like it bounced off the mat there.
Well, it looked like Drew kind of dropped him a bit, too.
Yeah, it looked like Drew didn't quite hit it correctly.
No.
It looked nasty. That match was hard-hitting. And Drew hit Kevin Owens with 2 overhead belly-to-belly suplexes that were also very impressive. Drew is impressive when he's able to throw a guy like Kevin Owens around with such ease. That was really impressive to me. Really showed how big and strong he is when he's able to lift Kevin Owens and toss him around, just toss him over his head. Like, Kevin Owens is not a small man, and Drew McIntyre, was able to toss him around the ring. Very impressive. I thought that match was great on SmackDown. Go check it out if you missed it.
You'd be surprised how light he probably is, though, Kevin, when you're wrestling him. Like, it might seem a lot easier just because Kevin knows how to work.
How to go with it and how to jump and everything, right. Still, Drew is strong.
Well, he's got to need to be something, right? Because, you can't just lift him, period, straight up. Like, it's not a complete, absolute Kevin doing all the work. Drew's got to do a lot of it, too.
I think that was my match of the week. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens on SmackDown.
The gauntlet was really good, too, though. That's tough. I don't know.
Yeah, Rey and Cesaro was excellent.
That's tough.
I'm not going to count the whole gauntlet as one match. It's like 5 matches, really.
Yeah, but it's, you're expecting all these guys in this kind of thing. Like, it was really fantastic the way that was put together.
Kofi Kingston and AJ Styles on SmackDown was pretty good, too.
It was.
Kofi beat AJ with the Trouble in Paradise pinfall after that.
I guess the interference kind of ruins it a bit.
Yeah, New Day and OC were at ringside, and they were kind of doing stuff. And that wasn't the end of SmackDown. The end of SmackDown was Roman Reigns on his way for an interview, gets hit with a bunch of equipment and road cases and stuff. Seems like somebody pushed all that stuff on Roman. Roman falls underneath it, but then walks away unscathed. EMTs are trying to help him, give him medical attention. He turns it down, says he's fine.
Right.
And it leaves you wondering, did somebody try to kill Roman Reigns? What's happening?
Well, we have our suspects, right?
Okay. Our suspects, our top suspects. Let's put our Fandango hat on here and be the detectives. Was it Daniel Bryan? He's been saying he's got some sort of career-altering announcement. This week, he wasn't interrupted. He was given the opportunity to make the announcement. He just sneered at Kayla Braxton and walked away. That's all Daniel Bryan did at SmackDown. He walked by Kayla, gave her a dirty look, didn't give an announcement, and walked away, even though he was advertised to make that major announcement. So is he the one going after Roman?
When you look at SummerSlam opponents, he's the best one.
Makes sense. Is it Braun Strowman? He's got a history of throwing things on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but he's a good guy now, so.
Is it Bobby Lashley? We haven't seen him in a while. Him and Roman had a previous beef. He's not finished.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be him, though, unfortunately.
Is it Drew McIntyre? Him and Roman, same deal. Previous beef, not over. Drew's mad. He lost on SmackDown. Could it be Drew?
Again, no.
Could it be a drunk Jimmy Uso? Didn't know what he was doing. He was drunk. Didn't mean to, Us.
I think Samoa Joe is a better candidate.
Could it be one of the guys that Roman Reigns beat up on the Hobbs and Shaw movie, Out for Revenge?
I saw that the second I saw the movie, actually.
Is it Samoan Joe?
He's the strongest candidate, I think. But, again, I don't think it's going to be him because you think it'd be him right away. Plus, they already wrestled a match.
There was supposed to be a Samoan summit on Raw to hash out their differences. I don't understand why.
And then they just brawled.
And then there was no Samoan summit. It was Joe cutting a promo talking about Roman Reigns and calls out Roman Reigns for a fight. Roman shows up, starts brawling with Joe. Drew McIntyre shows up, attacks Roman. Then Cedric Alexander evens the odds because Cedric is like Roman's buddy for some reason.
Yeah.
And then Gallows and Anderson and the Usos join in on the brawl. And then Cedric Alexander climbs on top of like a big screen thing and dives onto everybody. And then the action kind of spills back into the ring. And the Usos, Roman, and Cedric Alexander stand tall at the end of Raw. So instead of giving us an 8-man tag that would have been Usos, Roman, and Cedric versus Joe, Drew, Gallows, and Anderson, they just give us this brawl, which I'm okay with. I'm happier with this than the 8-man tag that they were going to give us instead. Like, they just gave us like some backstage antics. It was this, and then before that, it was the Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar stuff that was very good. Seth had a match with Dolph Ziggler that he won by disqualification when Brock Lesnar attacked. And then Brock hit Seth with 3 F5s on top of a steel chair, which was pretty nasty. And then Seth was like coughing up blood. Not really, but you know.
Took a blood capsule.
Yeah. And then Seth is being stretchered out, and Brock stops the ambulance, pulls Seth out of the ambulance on the stretcher, which looked like a rough fall, you know?
Rough enough, yeah.
He pulls a stretcher out of the ambulance, and Seth is on it, and Seth drops and rolls like it's on wheels, starts rolling away. Brock grabs him, grabs Seth, and then hits him with another F5 on like the metal side of the stretcher, which was the worst one of all. And the 3 F5s on the chair previous were really impressive. Seth Rollins, the midsection, the torso of Seth Rollins took a vicious beating on Raw. I loved it. It was really impressive stuff.
Plus, Brock destroyed another cameraman because when he was backing Seth out, he backed right into a camera guy. So another camera guy ate the floor.
Fantastic. The recklessness of the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. He takes on Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Does Seth take the Universal title back?
I say no, and I guess this is going to help explain it, that he's too beat up, but he's going to try to fight on, but it won't work.
So we like Brock Lesnar to retain the Universal title. I agree.
Not a lot of titles changing hands at SummerSlam.
How about Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton? Randy Orton with a pretty good promo on SmackDown this week. I really enjoyed it. Talked about, all his accomplishments and how Kofi Kingston wasn't on his level in 2009 and isn't on his level now. Talking about how he has main evented WrestleManias and beat Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and been all these champions before Kofi even, reached the WWE.
Randy's amazing.
They played the stupid clip where Randy's in the ring calling Kofi stupid, and Randy says it was stupid for Kofi to challenge him at SummerSlam. A brilliant promo. I thought it was magnificent. Could you remind me why remind all of us why Randy was calling Kofi stupid in that match? What happened? Something went wrong, right?
Well, because Kofi came up too quickly, because he was selling. He was supposed to sell up into the RKO, but he came up too quick, and Randy wasn't done getting ready for it.
For the RKO.
And he had to hit the RKO.
His little, RKO dance thing that he did.
He wasn't able to really do it because Kofi was already up. So that's why he yelled that out, because he thought Kofi kind of rushed the spot.
So he yelled out, stupid, and that has been on YouTube, on the internet, all over the place. That clip of Randy calling Kofi stupid audibly in front of the whole world.
Yep.
That's been out there since 2009. And that is legitimately one of the reasons, if not the reason, why Kofi hasn't been in the main event for the past 10 years.
Well,
because Randy has held him down. That incident did not help Kofi Kingston. It led to, him being held down further by Randy Orton and the powers that be in the WWE. And this storyline and this match playing off that is brilliant. And I think what would make it even more brilliant, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is if Randy Orton beat Kofi and became WWE champion. If you prove Randy right and you have him beat Kofi, I think it's even better when you come back around in 2 or 3 months and Kofi takes the title back from Randy. And we all know you're never a real WWE champion unless you're at least a 2-time champion. So let's give Kofi his wings. Let's make him legit. Let's give him his stripes. Drop the title to Randy at SummerSlam. Take it back by Survivor Series.
They do have their single WWE champions, JBL, Jinder Mahal. They only won it once, and they'll never win it again.
I don't think Kofi should be in that club. It's not a great club to be in.
As much as I'd love to see Randy Orton win at SummerSlam, I just feel like it's probably not going to happen, that they build this up where Randy kind of put Kofi down so much, and now this is Kofi finally getting his revenge.
So this is just somebody else for Kofi to beat? Another guy to get hit with a Trouble in Paradise? I don't know. I think it would be more fun if you gave Randy the title. Gave him a short run, Give him September, October. Give it back to Kofi by November. Keep Kofi in the picture, or give it back to Kofi sooner than that. I would like to see Randy get a win and then Kofi get it back. Maybe go back and forth for a couple months.
I completely agree with you. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they're still going to ride this Kofi title win.
It's not bad, but It's not great. Finn Balor against Bray Wyatt. Or should I be calling him The Fiend?
Well, he was back to Bray Wyatt, right, on SmackDown because the Firefly Funhouse came back?
Yeah, he was Bray Wyatt on Firefly Funhouse, but on Raw, wasn't he The Fiend with Finn Balor?
Yeah.
That was on Raw, right? Or was that on SmackDown?
That was
it's so hard to tell what show is which these days.
The week prior on SmackDown where he accepted the challenge, he was The Fiend.
No. He did something else. He showed up again. Finn Balor this week was wrestling somebody, and he lost because of Bray Wyatt. That was on Raw this week.
I feel like that was on SmackDown.
Okay, was that on SmackDown? Who'd he wrestle?
He wrestled Ziggler on SmackDown. And yeah, because Ziggler won with a super kick because of distraction, but that was SmackDown.
That was on SmackDown. Yeah, you're right. That was on SmackDown. See, these guys are on both shows. It's hard to tell what's what these days. So that match was on SmackDown. So the lights go out. The Fiend appears. I guess he was in the ring for a minute. It was hard to tell where he was because it was just dark. And then Corey Graves was like, the Fiend is in the ring. And then the lights go back out, and then the lights come back on, and he's not there anymore. But Ziggler, while all this is happening, Finn is distracted. Ziggler is just getting ready to win the match. Like, why is Ziggler not also distracted by this guy? Doesn't make sense. Lights come back on. Ziggler's like crouched down, ready to super kick Finn, hits him, beats him.
He's just that damn good.
Or maybe him and the Fiend have some sort of allegiance.
No, Ziggler's just that good, man. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, he's so good he's going to lose to Bill Goldberg at SummerSlam. How crazy is that? And Ali beat Shinsuke Nakamura this week on SmackDown. Barely a match, but it was a non-title match. So I guess we're going to have an Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam. Shinsuke is the Intercontinental Champion, whether you knew it or not. And he's going to be defending against Ali, most likely at SummerSlam, and he'll probably win. Shinsuke, that is.
Probably on the pre-show, too, but that's fine.
Will Daniel Bryan ever make his announcement?
I think he's going to be the attacker. He's the one who attacked Roman Reigns. I mean, that's a big SummerSlam match when you think about it. Not Roman versus Buddy Murphy, not Roman versus Samoa Joe. Roman versus Daniel Bryan. That's huge.
So Daniel Bryan's big announcement is that he wants to take out guys like Roman Reigns and all the guys like him because they're bad for WWE and the planet, and he wants to rid them of whatever.
He wants to change the face of the WWE into his face.
Good idea.
I like it.
I like it. I like his face. Put him as the face of the WWE. I'll be happy with that. That's my guy right there. My man D. Bry.
But he's going to lose, though, if he's wrestling Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Aw.
You just realized this, too. It's good.
Will he, though?
Oh, yeah.
Does he have to?
Big dog. Hoo-wah. It's going to happen.
Man, I don't want that to happen. I don't like that one bit.
It's the end game. Sorry, man.
Ugh. Finally, Big Show's going to get a sitcom on Netflix. Do you believe it?
The Big Show?
Yeah, what?
Sounds like it's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going to be good. I hope it's good, though, because I will watch every episode.
There'll be, 4 or 5 episodes
I think
at
it's
most?
10.
Yeek. This is going to be rough.
You and I are both going to watch every episode, though. You know it and I know it. No matter how bad it is, we're going to watch every episode of the Big Show's show.
I'm looking forward to watching.
On Netflix.
Glow Season 3 is coming out on Netflix. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'll watch all that. I don't know if I can get through one episode of the Big Show, but we'll see.
My goodness. Well, I'm happy for him. I love that guy.
Oh, it's good for him, but I don't know if it's going to be good, though.
I'm a huge fan of the Big Show. How is he not in the Hall of Fame yet? Put him in the Hall of Fame next year.
He's not done wrestling. Remember, he was with the Bar for a little bit?
So what? Put him in the Hall of Fame. Shawn Michaels is in the Hall of Fame. Trish Stratus is in the Hall of Fame. She's wrestling at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but these are one-offs kind of thing. Like
Big Show at this point is basically a one-off. Every time he shows up.
I feel like he thinks he still has a run in him, I think he still has one little gasp of something left.
I don't know. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a living legend. I'm happy for him. Glad he's got a TV show on Netflix coming out. Big Johnny, we are running out of time here. When can people see you in the ring? And don't forget, we're going to be off for a couple of weeks, so give us your long-term schedule here.
Well, I'm on vacation too right now from wrestling, so it's good.
Oh, nice.
We're all on vacation.
So no bookings to promote right now.
But when we're back, there'll definitely be more wrestling again.
Oh, yeah. So we are taking a short break here for Wrestling Uncensored. We'll be off for a couple of weeks, taking a vacation, and then we will be back after. When is the next episode of Wrestling Uncensored? It'll be the weekend of the 24th and 25th. So Saturday, August, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. That's when the whole Ringside Report Wrestling Uncensored crew will be back. You'll be able to join us on Friday, August 23rd on the YouTube channel for Dave and Johnny Live, the return of Dave and Johnny Live on Friday, August 23rd. And to make sure that you are there, subscribe to the channel, like the video, click the bell when you subscribe so you get the alerts. Leave a comment on all our videos. It helps us very much with the algorithms and the YouTube and everything going on. So help us out. Thank you to everybody for everything, for helping us out. And follow Big Johnny on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis John and North. You can follow me at Dave Simon MMA on all the things. For more info on everything that we do, go to our website, ringsidereport.net. And that's it, right, Big Johnny? Anything else before we go for a little vacation?
People can still enjoy classic Wrestling Uncensored in the meantime.
That's right. Enjoy classic Wrestling Uncensored. Go to the YouTube channel. Watch the stuff. We put out a movie review for Hobbs and Shaw, the new Rock movie, Fast and Furious, The Rock.
Roman Reigns is in it.
Roman Reigns is in it. We talked about The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's available on the YouTube channel. You can go check it out right now. So there's still some action at ringsidereport.net. Even while we're on vacation, we'll still have some updates here and there, and you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram for little updates while we're off of the radio and off of YouTube for a little bit.
It's only a 2-week season finale, and the season premiere comes right back.
That's
really
right. End of August. We will be back for Dave and Johnny Live the 23rd, and then the weekend of the 24th, 25th, back with Wrestling Uncensored and Ringside Report and all the good stuff that you enjoy. All right? So, for Johnny North, I am Dave Simon. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. This has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah. Yeah. Your line, John.
Yeah. Yeah.